All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about some right-wing drama. Right? We're going to talk about some right-wing drama. And the reason why is because it's entertaining. And also there isn't all that much to talk about when it comes to politics these last few days. So I need stuff to talk about. And I'm going to talk about this because this has been a very hot topic. It involves this guy named Jack Murphy, who's a popular kind of figure in the whole, conservative slash manosphere slash red pill space. Okay, and he's one of these guys that sells, I really don't know, like courses or books all about, masculinity and manhood and how to be an alpha male and things like that, right? And I have opinions on stuff like that, okay? And in my opinion, it's very simple when it comes to some of this stuff in the red pill space and the manosphere that I am a fan of to a certain extent. But I think when it comes to selling courses about, how to be a man, things like that, I look at it in a very skeptical way because in my personal opinion, the only person that can really teach you how to be a man is your father, right? That's the only person you should really be looking up to as a man, is your father and your grandfather, maybe your uncles, right? Male family members, or if you have somebody that you grew up with, a strong father figure type in your life, right? Those are the only people that can teach you how to be a man, in my opinion, personally, okay? When I grew up, I watched my dad work all the time. He worked more than anybody I knew. And I picked up that habit from him. That is literally why I work every single day and I don't really stop, okay? Because that's what I grew up watching, right? And that's not something I think that you could just learn from some random person off the street. That's something that you kind of pick up from the experience of having a father around in your life. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And that's not to discredit his courses or whatever he's selling. I think it's like the aluminum order or something like that. That's what it's called. I'm not discrediting it. I'm just saying I'm skeptical, right, of things like that. Just like I'm skeptical of these so-called dating coaches that sell these courses on trying to help people pick up girls, right? Which I think 90% of is how you look, right, and your personality, which are things that, you can change a little bit, but not all that much, okay? And how much money you make. You also throw that in there and you can change that a lot. But that's about the only thing that you can really change significantly. But yeah. So he's on Tim Poole's podcast. And on Tim's podcast, he's explaining this situation that got a lot of people upset with this guy. That happened on another podcast called You Are Here with this guy named Elijah Schaefer and Sydney Watson. Now, those two people are, again, popular people in the whole right-wing celebrity space. I don't know what you call it, but this podcast done by the Blaze, and I guess it's like an uncut version of, conservatives or conservative-leaning people, libertarian-leaning people talking about issues, right, where they just kind of say all the things that people really want to say but don't say out loud, okay? So that's kind of what it is. And on that podcast, there was a very controversial moment in which this guy goes off on Sydney Watson, who also is a popular YouTuber, for asking him about an article that he wrote a few years ago about cuckolding, right? And this article about cuckolding is an article in which he writes about his girlfriend essentially sleeping with another man, and him getting off to it, right? Which again made a whole lot of people have a whole lot of questions about this guy, right? You're selling masculinity courses, trying to tell people about how to be a man, how to be an alpha, but yet you're into your girl getting, by other men, right? I think people can reasonably have questions about that, right? Okay, again, I'm not knocking the dude's lifestyle. If that's what he wants to do, that's on him. Right. But again, when you're trying to tell people how to be a man and you have stuff out there like that on the internet, you write stuff like that. Yeah, people going to have some questions. So, yeah, with an embarrassing article out there on the internet like that, of course, he deleted it probably a long time ago. OK, however, the internet is forever. Right. The internet is forever. So obviously, he's asked about this from time to time, and he was asked about it again on this podcast. You Are Here. When Sydney Watson had received a super chat from somebody, again, asking Jack Murphy to explain this article. And this is the viral clip that shows him basically going off on Sydney Watson because she asked him about this. Take a look.
Could you please clear up the cuck article you wrote?
I am not going to talk about this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what? Fuck you for bringing this up right here and right now. Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Elizabeth,
Heartfelt.
Elizabeth Harrison says, gonna miss the show, but have a good break. IHTAC, what's that? What?
Yeah, so that's the clip in which this guy goes off on Sydney Watson for asking him that question about that article that was a super chat. Now, the internet, people got mad. They got pissed off at Mr. Murphy here for doing that because he's going off on a woman, on a girl, right? For asking a question that was given to her by some dude on the internet. Okay, she's just reading a question. And dude goes off, says, F you, right? He was mean to her. Okay, he was mean to her. And a lot of people are looking at it and saying, hey, you know, that ain't very masculine. You know, going off on women, talking down to women, cursing at women, that's not a very masculine / manly thing to do. And, I mean, looking at that clip, initially, it's like, yeah, I mean, don't really seem all that alpha to me. Again, I think it's cringe when people call themselves alphas and stuff like that. I think all that stuff is kind of cringe. But anyways, yeah, that is something that a lot of people are gonna have some questions about, right? When people see that, okay. However, context is everything, and apparently before this dude went off on her, apparently he actually told her to stop asking him about his article before, because somebody in a previous super chat had asked her about it. And I want you guys to actually watch this clip as well.
Get out of town.
That is why the super chats mean a lot to us.
They're the advertisers
supporting us.
Thank you.
Because you guys are the advertisers. That's why we try to get through all of these and read all your
All right,
comments.
I got a few
Even
more.
if you're trapping me. No, I want to read this one first. Because I started it, I'm going to finish what I started. Anamorphosis says, Elijah, and I apologize for this in advance, Jack, asked Murphy about the article he wrote about literally cuckolding his wife. I wish I was joking. True alpha.
Wow.
True.
Wow, you went there with that. I have absolutely no comment on that other than to say that whatever people's perception is about that, it's 180 degrees wrong. And it has nothing to do with people think what they're thinking it to be today.
Are we talking about sex right now?
Do you know what cuckolding is?
I totally thought
It's
you were
where
reading...
you get a chicken and you hold it. And
no,
you love it.
I just blanked
and
out
then
for a second.
You make more chickens.
I just blanked out for a second.
I support you having chickens.
We
I
don't
have
kink
chickens.
shame.
I like chickens.
If you have a hen house, that's great. That's you should have your own eggs. Great.
We don't
supply-
kink shame.
Great for protein.
You are here does not kink shame. I want to bring that out, that we do not kink shame. If you don't want to have, if you hate women, don't want to have any sex at all, that's your lifestyle. Or if you're a nude model, that's your lifestyle.
You can in fact be you can be both at the same time.
Or if you want to sleep with trans Elijah, you know, Ellie Schaefer.
Literally,
If you want to breed
if you
him,
want to have
that's
sex
okay.
with my ankles, maybe. Kez might allow it.
All right, guys. So with full context, I can kind of see why the dude was upset and irritated at Sydney Watson for asking him that question. Okay, because he was asked that question before, and he already basically said that he don't want to talk about it. He don't want to explain it, even though I think he should probably explain it, right? If you're supposed to be a man's man, right, a masculinity type of guy, right, alpha, right, I would explain that. Okay, you probably should explain it, but he didn't want to explain it. She asked him the question again. Okay, and, you know, that's when he kind of went off on her. And honestly, I still don't think that's an excuse for him to have talked to her the way that he did. Okay, because it just looked really, really, really bad. And obviously, that's what people are going to see. That's what's going to go viral. And because of that, a lot of people took to the Twitter sphere to let him know about it, right? Let him know that they didn't like him going off on her like that. Okay, and that ended up with him, like, blocking a whole bunch of people and stuff like that. And people got mad about that because he's essentially trying to silence people who is criticizing him for going off on her like that. Now, he did apologize on Twitter, and he is now on Tim's podcast discussing the situation. And he's a common guest on Tim's podcast. I guess him and Tim are friends. And I'm going to play this clip of him explaining the situation. And really, the whole point of this video, really, for me, is just to kind of examine a situation like this and see how, I would have handled that situation if I was him. okay, and explain how I think this could have been handled better, in which all this drama would not have gotten to this level where, there's a lot of people on the internet now that are not really liking this dude, right? And are trying to expose him, right? Saying that he's fraudulent, which again, I don't really know, but I'm just saying, I mean, hey, that article, man, raised a whole lot of questions. But hey, he read it a long time ago. He says it's not what we actually think that it is. So let's see if he actually explains it with Tim Poole, and let's hear his side of the story.
Was using a fake name. Jack Murphy is not my real name, everybody. Spoiler alert. My real name is John Murphy Goldman. My grandfather's name was John Murphy. Everybody called him Jack. So I picked Jack Murphy as a pseudonym. And I wrote an article about like one element of my sex life all those years ago that was meant to be seen by basically nobody. And I deleted it like a few months later. And now for years, people have been digging through my internet trash to like bring it up and to wave it in my face. And the only reason people are waving it in my face is because we're having a good impact on society. We're like doing good. We're spreading good out there. And if it felt jarring to you to read this one thing, well, yeah, that's because I don't talk about it, and it's not something I'm pushing, and it's not something I advocate. After I got divorced, dude, we just had we had fun, man. We did a lot of kinky and crazy things, and I don't write about it, and I don't talk about it anymore.
Joey.
See, but the thing is, though, is that's why people keep bringing it up. It's because you don't just face it head on, right? If something happens to you, right, on the internet and people gonna see it, right, especially when you're in this space, you gotta just face it head on, man. You gotta just say, you know what, this is out there. Let me explain exactly what it is. Yes, I am into cuckolding. I'm just saying, I don't know if he actually is. I'm just saying, if that's what he's actually into, say it. Just say, yes, I was into it. This is what we did. And I wrote about it. And, it is what it is, okay? And this is why it doesn't take away from, what I'm doing right now for X, Y, and Z reasons, right? You got to explain it, right? When I had my little debate with Mark Lamont Hill, okay, I felt that it was bad, okay? I felt like I did not do a good job. So the next day, I came out here and explained to people what happened, right? I was upfront and transparent about it. And the reason why is because that's how you build trust with people, right? When you are transparent about things, people tend to trust you more, okay? You just got to be honest up front and just explain what it is, man. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care what people do in their personal lives, okay? People are into all types of different stuff. But when you're trying to sell masculinity things, right, and push this whole alpha male thing, when you get caught doing something like that, or people know this is what you did in the past, yeah, people going to have questions, okay? They're going to have a whole lot of questions. So it's not unreasonable for people to ask about it. You just got to explain it, man. Just explain it.
Salads hired black men to vandalize a car with Trump stickers in it. He staged the whole thing, and I forgave him and had him on the show several times.
Yeah, well, I didn't do anything that stupid. I was just having fun
that's my point,
with a girl that I just started dating. We were just going out and having a good time, and I wrote about it anonymously. Then I deleted it, and now I have gone through a whole many years of growth and transformation and reading and studying, and everything that I have said before up till this point is 100% accurate. What?
But people
see, you should have just said that on the You Are Here podcast. That's all you had to say. You should have just said it there. If you just would have said it there, none of this would have happened, right? You just would have explained it right then. None of it would have happened. Okay? None of it would have happened.
Don't interrupt me.
Well, people are mad at you for yelling at.
They're like, we can talk about that. Yeah, for sure.
I think they're using. A lot of people don't like the article. A lot of people are using that because they're mad at you. But I think the anger comes from you yelling at Sydney.
Right. So here's what happened with Sydney. So I'm sitting on the show and we're talking, and they're joking about reading super chats where people are building like gas chambers, and she's reading out loud like, how did I build this gas chamber that didn't kill all the Jews that I was supposed to kill? Right. It's like insane. The super chats that she reads. And so I'm telling her this whole time, I'm like, hey, you might want to read all the super chats before you read them out loud, right? A little bit of a warning. And then she asked me the question about the article, and I answered it politely. I deflected. I was like, that's not me. It's 180 degrees from whatever that article says. And I'd really rather not talk about it anymore. And then a couple minutes later, she literally asked me the same question all over again. And I cursed at her. I shouldn't have cursed at her. And I apologized, Sydney. I apologized to her that day and that night and the next day. And she accepted my apology. So I don't know why everybody's still butthurt. But
I think part of the reason why is because you blocked everybody, and you didn't allow people to actually vent right at you. Okay, you block people from criticizing you. Okay, I mean that's the internet, man. People gonna criticize you. People criticize me. People say all types of crazy stuff. But I don't really block them because at the end of the day, I just don't really believe in censorship. Okay, I really don't. I mean, the thing is that when you are being criticized, you just gotta take it, right? You gotta take it in stride and just be like, hey, you know what? You got me. I did this a long time ago. I don't do it anymore, right? I don't know. Maybe he still does do it. I don't know. But that's all you got to do. And just explain it and just own up to it.
Shouldn't have cursed at her. I should have just used amused mastery and just like laughed at her and dismissed her. But I didn't, because I had set a boundary and she crossed it. And that's part of being a man too, is saying, here's my boundary. Please don't cross it. And then she crossed it. And I told her that I didn't like it. Did I use the right words? No. Should I have cursed at her? No. And did I apologize to her for that? Yes. Did she apologize to me for putting me in a bad spot? Yes. Did Elijah? Yes. Did Elijah and I go out for dinner and drinks afterwards? Yes. Has Sydney and I talked afterwards? Yes. So I don't understand why everybody's so white knighting, simping for her. She can stand up for herself. It's resolved. And in my mind, it's done. And to me, this is such a nothing burger in my life. I am so focused on so many other bigger, more important things that people chipping and chirping away at me at this are just so annoying. When I block people, it's because you're annoying, dude. It's because you.
Yeah, but see, again, that's how, you make things even worse. When you start blocking people, censoring them, not letting them, say what they got to say. That's how you make it worse. That's how you make it worse. It's almost like you're running away from something, right? You got something to hide, okay? Again, it's the lack of transparency here, I think, is what's really making the situation worse for this guy. It really is.
We have to be more than drama.
Right.
There are a lot of drama channels. I don't engage with them. And I'm aware, and I mentioned this last week. The one way to really piss me off is to send me a video about people saying things about me.
I don't know, man, Tim. I think politics is drama, right? I think everything in life is drama, right? There's petty drama, and then there's drama that actually really matters, okay? Yeah, this is probably some petty drama, but, talking about politics is talking about drama, because that's a lot of what politics is. It's almost like a soap opera. It really is. I've compared politics to soap operas a lot, because that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, I don't care about me. Like, what I mean by that is like, I don't care if, so I saw the Young Turks thing where Cenk was like, he's literally looking into the camera saying over and over again, I'm laughing at you, Tim Poole. I'm like, okay, dude, like, whatever, man. I did a video addressing the Ari the Rugged Man thing. Got 500,000 views. The Young Turks did their video, got 50,000 views. I'm not saying that, bring that up to be like, haha, I got more views than you. I'm saying when you focus on the work, when you focus on the ideas, when you are talking about what makes the world a better place and what we need to work on, people are interested.
Yeah.
People are interested in like, what can I do to better my life?
Yeah. And that's.
But Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian just insulting me doesn't improve anyone's life in any way. It doesn't provide them with tools to make for a better world.
No, and if you're out there and you're listening to rage merchants and all they're doing is stirring up drama and you're just getting angry enough that you seek out my email address and my Instagram and my YouTube and my Twitter and my personal phone number and my girlfriend who's soon to be my wife's, and you blowing us up with all this nastiness, like, dude, you're being misled. Right? The idea and everything that we're working on here is to help men, is to help their families, is to help their community and their nation. On the way up here today, just let me finish. On the way up here today, I had a phone call with one of the LO guys, and we're talking about this business that they started that's literally going to change the world. It's going to change the world. It is going to transform the world. And this is what we're working on. So I'm driving up here and I'm talking to this guy about literally changing the world. And now we're talking about this thing that literally has no relevance in my life whatsoever at all today. And, it's just kind of annoying, but like, I'm just so over it and not interested in talking about it, which is why I was like, please, let's just not talk about it anymore. And she wanted to, so hey.
And that's where you messed up, right? It does have relevance in your life because, again, you're selling a whole thing about being masculine and alpha and, manhood and being a man. And again, when you have articles and stuff out there like that, even though you deleted it, people still know that that's what you did, right? And it's not one of those things where I think that you can't overcome it. You can, but the way that you overcome it is to address it head on and to be transparent about it from the get-go, right? When you say, well, I just don't want to talk about it, then it seems like you have something to hide, okay? And when you have stuff to hide, that's how you keep things going, and that's how you keep the questions coming in, right? So I think where this guy really made a mistake is, one, going off on Sydney Watson because of, you know, her asking him a question. But I also think the main thing that he really, you know, messed up in is not being transparent about it from the get-go. Because again, you're selling masculinity, right? That's your brand. And when people see stuff like that, they're gonna have questions, and you have to answer those questions. Okay, you got to answer those questions, right? So hey, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, people are really mad at this guy for going off on her like that, and I perfectly understand why. I think he should have just been more transparent about it from the get-go, and I think this whole thing could have been avoided. But let me know what you guys think. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.